on the Capitol. But there have been a new development overnight that may derail that timeline, and it has to do with what the president knew about the severity of the assault while it was underway and the risk it posed to Vice President Mike Pence. And some are now asking for witnesses to be called in this trial. Also, NBC News has learned now that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, a key bellwether, intends to vote in this trial. We know how he'll vote. For the latest, let's go right to Casey Hunt on Capitol Hill. Casey.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
Breaking news here, and we can hear Senator Leahy, of course, dabbling this in here. But Senator Mitch McConnell this morning sending a critical email to other Republicans saying that he plans to vote to acquit President Trump. And it's a pretty short email, so I'm just going to read it to you. It says, "Colleagues, as I've said for some time, today's vote is a vote of conscience, and I know we will all treat it as such. I've been asked directly by a number of you how I intend to vote, so thought it right to make that known prior to the final vote. And while a close call, I'm persuaded that impeachments are a tool primarily of removal, and therefore we lack jurisdiction. The Constitution makes perfectly clear that presidential criminal misconduct while in office can be prosecuted after the president has left office, which, in my view, alleviates the otherwise troubling January exception argument raised by the House. And given these conclusions, I will vote to acquit Mitch." So he is, of course, the person that we have been watching here, and he is going to go with this process argument, and he is going to say that former President Donald Trump is not guilty of incitement of insurrection. And this means it's likely that there are at most 5, perhaps 6 votes in the Senate to convict Donald Trump, Republican votes, I should say, and not anywhere near the 17 votes that would be required to convict former President Trump. So we basically knew that this was going to be the answer. We have been saying that all the way along, but of course it has been an incredibly emotional and difficult week for senators as they relived via the House manager's presentation everything that happened here at the Capitol on January 6th, and of course had to sit in the chamber to see pictures of it having been ransacked while they sat at their very desks. But again, this announcement from McConnell likely really closes any window that there may have been or idea that former President Trump might be convicted, Joe. The other thing I will add is that we're dealing with this morning is, and there's Mitch McConnell now walking from his office to the Senate floor, we are dealing with a question about witnesses because of some new information that came out overnight from Kevin McCarthy. So we're about to find out right now if something unexpected is going to happen on that front.
Yeah, that is sort of the big question that remains this morning. Will we see witnesses? If we don't have witnesses, how do we expect things to move forward today?
15.838.
So I think they're about to make the proclamation, Joe. I think we ought to just listen in here because if this starts as quickly as we expect, we're going to go straight to these final closing arguments and then, of course, to the final vote. Joe.
Former President of the United States.
And pursuant to the provisions of Senate Resolution 47, the Senate has provided up to 2 hours of argument by the parties, equally divided, on the question of whether or not it shall be in order to consider and debate under the impeachment rules any motion to subpoena witnesses or documents. Are both parties ready to proceed at this point?
15.792. Slow car ahead. Car stop down low.
He said they are ready to proceed.
They may proceed.
15.74. Car stop down low.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Senators.
Car stop high.
Over the last several days, we presented overwhelming evidence that establishes the charges in the article of impeachment. We've shown you how President Trump created a powder keg, lit a match, and then continued his incitement even as he failed to defend us from the ensuing violence. We've supported our position with images, videos, affidavits, documents, tweets, and other evidence, leaving no doubt that the Senate should convict. We believe we've proven our case. But last night, Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler of Washington State issued a statement confirming that in the middle of the insurrection, when House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy called the president to beg for help, President Trump responded, and I quote, "Well, Kevin, I guess these people are more upset about the election than you are."
15.937.
Needless to say, this is an additional critical piece of corroborating evidence, further confirming the charges before you, as well as the president's willful dereliction of duty and desertion of duty as Commander-in-Chief of the United States, his state of mind, and his further incitement of the insurrection on January 6th. For that reason, and because this is the proper time to do so under the resolution that the Senate adopted to set the rules for the trial, we would like the opportunity to subpoena Congresswoman Herrera regarding her communications with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and to subpoena her contemporaneous notes that she made regarding what President Trump told Kevin McCarthy in the middle of the insurrection. We would be prepared to proceed by Zoom deposition of an hour or less, just as soon as Congresswoman Herrera Beutler is available, and to then proceed to the next phase of the trial, including the introduction of that testimony shortly thereafter. Congresswoman Beutler further stated that she hopes other witnesses to this part of the story, other patriots, as she put it, would come forward, and if that happens, we would seek the opportunity to take their depositions via Zoom, also for less than an hour, or to subpoena other relevant documents as well.
President, thank you. Senators, good morning. And good morning to the American people. The first thing I want to say on the issue of witness